Hi, my name is Dan. I'm a lawyer here in Roanoke, at the firm of Frith Ellerman, and spend most of my time representing patients of medical negligence. What I'd like to do today is spend a short time with you to talk a little bit about what you can expect if you have contact with our firm in the initial process of inquiring into whether or not you have a medical malpractice case for you or for someone in your family. Our approach to handling these cases, especially in the intake level, is probably a little bit different than what you may have experienced with other law firms and other issues. First, if you contact our firm by phone or by email, most likely you will deal first with our intake specialist. She is a knowledgeable and experienced professional. She has handled medical negligence claims for a long time. She knows the questions to ask you. She knows the medicine. And she will spend somewhere between 10 and 30 minutes with you going over your medical history and background, chronology and sequencing of events, what happened to you, if you have a prognosis, just an overall picture, detailed picture. And then our intake specialist next prepares a memorandum. And that memorandum is provided to my two partners, Lauren and Bo, and to me. And collectively, we review and discuss those memos and make a decision as to whether or not there appears to be merit to the case. If there does appear to be merit, the next thing that happens is you will be contacted by Lauren Ellerman, Bo Frith, or me to discuss in greater detail and in greater depth just exactly what has happened. That next meeting with you can be by telephone, it can be by Zoom, it can be in person. Whatever is most convenient for you is fine with us. The next step, after we have that discussion with you, we will ask for permission to get your medical records, your authorization for medical records. Medical records are privileged and confidential, and we can't just write to anybody and say, send us John Brown's medical records. We won't get them. So we'll get your authorization to get those medical records, and then we'll send it out to the relevant providers. It could be the hospital. It could be the family practice doctor who treated your husband for the last 25 years and did nothing wrong, but we need to know what his overall health situation was. It could be the surgeon who performed the gallbladder surgery that went wrong. We'll request all those records. And it typically takes about 30 days for those records to arrive in our office after we request them. But once they arrive, and they arrive typically in electronic format, that's when the heavy lifting and heavy work begins on our end. Most of our records in our cases will go anywhere from 500 pages to 3,000 pages. And we look at every page because the information in there is critical in whether or not we can prove a medical malpractice case on your behalf. After we finish reviewing the records, the next thing we do is we look at the medical literature out there, at the professional journals by surgeons and neurosurgeons and infectious disease physicians that describe in detail the situation that you or your loved one was in and how you handle that, how you treat that, what the prognosis is for patients with that diagnosis. We have access to all of the same professional medical journals and periodicals that the doctors do. We also have access to all the databases that the doctors do. So we are very thorough in that review process and research process into your particular situation. After we finish reviewing your records and after we finish looking at the medical literature, we have then again a discussion with you in person, preferably, but can be done by phone, can be done by Zoom. And we sit down and we explain to you at that point in time, hopefully, that we think that is a case and that we want to take the next step. What's the next step? The next step is finding an expert witness who will support our case. Medical malpractice cases are battles of the experts. And we look for experts who are have impeccable educational credentials, are respected by their peers and colleagues, do the same, for example, in a surgery case, do the same surgery that your wife underwent 300 times a year. I mean, they're very familiar, very experienced in the particular medicine at issue. And we ask that expert if he or she would be willing to review the records in the case and provide us with an opinion as to whether or not there was negligence. We ship those records to the physician or put them on the cloud, at a secure site on the cloud, so they can access them that way. And then we have to wait typically about another 30 days for those experts and their busy schedule to not only practice medicine, but to review our cases and our records. And if they call us back and say that we do believe, or I do believe that it is a meritorious, valid claim, that's when the case starts. Soon as we get the go-ahead from the medical expert, that's when we begin preparing the suit papers and file the lawsuit on your behalf. So I hope this information has been helpful to you, sort of a general overview on how the Frith Ellerman firm handles those initial calls with regard to potential claims. And I hope it's been helpful. Thank you.